Chapter 11. Oracle Fairies. Grandma, why did you call us? I asked curiously after being called to her personal room. I want you 5 to meet the Oracle Fairies. Here. She gave a blank map to Nyx and a backpack to each one of us, which was magical and had a tent, food, and clothes. Oracle Fairies? Does this magical world have everything? Yes, they are very important for fairies. They tell us what one should do before every event. This time it's you 5. She answered, Nyx, have you found a route yet? This looks complicated. He scanned the map. Which way do we take? Everything seems dangerous. We looked at each other in confusion. What do you mean? There is nothing in that paper. It's blank, Hope said while I nodded. Wait, you guys can't see anything on this? His face lit up with sudden realization. We all shook our heads. My grandma chuckled. You have a gift, Nyx. Nyx's eyes widened and he sang, Oh yeah, I am amazing. I rolled my eyes, smiling, and Hope pretended to cough to cover up her laughing. Well, go immediately and tell them this message. Troll and fairies. And hurry. They say everything in code language, so you have to decode it and follow it, my grandma said urgently. Nyx, are you sure we are going the right way? I asked after I saw the tree I marked 3 times on its trunk. Yes, we are. His eyes and nose were on the map. Hate to break it to you, I don't think we are, Nyx, Flame said, looking irritated. I know that. I am following the map correctly, but we just circle and end up in the same place. He looked up from the map. I'm not sure why. Maybe we are supposed to find the Oracle Fairies like the way we did with the rose hops, Mai said thoughtfully. Oh, I think this might work, Mai. I was excited about my newly formed idea. It would? I think we should take our rose hops out and see if they can give us a hint. Everybody pondered about it for a second, and their faces lit up with excitement. We all took our rose hops out and placed them on the ground, walking back and waited. Nothing happened. Suddenly, a mini tornado occurred and we heard tiny voices. I couldn't see any fairies or creatures except the tornado of dust. What do you want? Trolls and fairies, I said quickly, remembering the message Grandma told us to tell. The talented 5 will go from their woe to their foes. One will get its family, if all are careful. One will get lost in their foe's land. They shall trick and bring it to its rightful place. For that, each one must unlock bravery and overcome their fears to get their aid that will help them in their quest. The tiny voices echoed. The tornado disappeared, and everything was the same as it was before. It was silent for a moment. So, we have to go back, Hope mumbled. Yes, according to the Oracle Fairies, Flame said. We have to go back to retrieve Dandelia's missing parents, but they also said that someone will get lost there. I shrunk back. I don't want anyone to suffer because of me. Maybe it's just better if I go alone and make things right. Mai put a hand on my shoulder. No. Remember, your grandma told us to follow the Oracle's message. We are the talented 5 they talk of, and it's our responsibility to go on the quest. We still have hope now that the Oracle Fairies showed us where to begin. She moved away and looked into the distance. I believe that we can do it. I looked down, upset. I would get my family, but one of us will be lost in the horrifying troll world. What if we just go back to school and do nothing? I asked, tired. I heard a sudden loud crash sound, and I saw lightning flicked amongst the now dark clouds. I think that happens if we do that. Nyx pointed towards the sky. So we have no other choice. Fine. I forced myself to be positive. The sky was clear blue again, and we headed towards the magical forest to start our quest. Chapter 12. Potions and Tricks. We spotted the swamp and I heard Flame say, We have to make a plan before we head in. Who knows if the trolls might be right there waiting for us on the other side. Hey guys, it's dark and it's nighttime. Maybe we should just set up our tents and have a good night's sleep before worrying about this problem tomorrow morning. Hope said, rubbing her eyes and stifling a yawn. All of us agreed. Since the tents were magical, they made themselves the second we pulled them out of our bags. I was so exhausted I fell asleep the second I fell into my sleeping bag. A troll was approaching us, and my eyes widened when I saw Hope and Flame lying on the ground unconscious. The troll grabbed me and started shaking me and screamed at my face. "Wake up, Leah!" I jumped out of my bed and opened my eyes, breathing quickly. It was Mai shaking me. "Are you okay?" Mai gasped, concerned. "You were screaming, 'Hope, Flame!' all the way in my tent, and I think those are soundproof." I nervously laughed. "Yeah, I was having a terrible nightmare." "Did it include a troll?" she whispered, fingering her red hair. I remembered the scene. Yes, it was shaking me. Hope and Flame were unconscious. I didn't see where you or Nyx were, though." Still worried, Mai sat in my tent. "Well, go to sleep now. We'll talk about it later." "So we aren't allowed to go back to the school campus?" I asked, suddenly having a craving for fairy cafeteria food, not being able to fall asleep because of hunger. "No, I tried so many times, but the lightning kept appearing out of nowhere. It almost zapped Nick's tent when he was sleeping." What a creepy spell. "I know, right?" Hope came in from outside my tent. She twisted her hair and tied it with a pin and rested her face on her hand. "I overheard your conversation, and I wanted to join." She smiled sweetly. "Let's go out," I said, and the three of us sat down on the grass. I looked up at the sky, and even though we were in a creepy magical forest, I felt at peace when I saw the stars that were all over the night sky. "A fire?" I looked around for Flame. Flame and Nyx were talking to each other, and noticed my question. A fire appeared in less than a second, and I noticed our powers had gotten better since we got the rose hops. If our powers had gotten better, then Nyx would have been able to sense what was in the stone cave without even being in it. I shared my thoughts with the others while we ate breakfast. "Wow, you're right," Nyx said, surprised. "The rose hops truly are magical enhancers, and I could easily note what's in the stone cave before even going through the portal." He was halfway through munching a pancake. "I woke up early today, knowing that we would need magical water to recharge. So I prepared this for us." Hope floated off the ground, setting down her banana, and spread her arms. A large body of transparent pink water formed around her, and she shouted, "May this water appear in front of us when one claps their hands and shouts, 'Water!'" "Did you just perform a conservation spell?" Flame blinked several times, impressed. "Yeah, it might come handy later on in the journey," Hope said, shrugging. Everyone finished up their food, and we summoned the pink water that turned into plain water, took a long drink, and sprinted to the swamp. "All right, all clear. I don't sense any trolls in the cave. We should go in." Nyx leaded, and he was the first to jump in. We found ourselves in the same cave as before. "Isn't it strange that no trolls are guarding this cave if they knew we would come back?" Hope summoned a glass of pink water and drank it in a gulp. "Hope, don't worry. I know what's in the stone cave, and there are no traps or anything," Nyx said confidently. "But I agree, that's weird." "What if they're planning an attack on us? Remember what the imposter Orin said?" I tensed up and warily looked around the cave. "We have our powers," May said, and she created a shiny, transparent crystal. "So use it against them." Then she waved her arm in a swift motion, and the crystal pierced the cave wall like a sword. "Now that I think about it, what's your power, Mai?" I didn't get to know her power. I assumed it would be the same as Nyx's. "I specialize in producing elements or crystals." I realized I was feeling lighter, as though I was missing something after walking a little longer. "We had forgotten our backpacks!" "Guys, we forgot our backpacks there!" They felt their backs and horror swept on their face. "Should we go back?" Hope asked. "I don't think we should. The sooner we get out of this cave and into the troll world, the better." Flame looked around. "There are no traps now, but if we go back and return, there might be then." "You are right, Flame. Let's keep going," Nyx nodded. We traveled through the cave and hid behind the cave opening. There we saw the entrance to the troll world and a large sign saying "Welcome to Grimpoint." Past the sign there was a marketplace where several trolls were selling troll goods. I was in the front of the group, and although we were in the cave's shadows and well hidden from the trolls, I couldn't help but feel afraid. I glanced at my friends and their bewildered faces, knowing they were sharing the same emotions as me. I instantly felt better that I hadn't come here alone. Suddenly I heard a scream behind us, and it echoed through the cave wall. Hope was behind us, craning her neck to capture the view, but she bent over and she tripped. She was almost about to faint. "Oh no! Did they hear me?" I shook my head as I looked back at the troll market. No one had noticed, thankfully, since it was quite busy and loud. "What's that?" I motioned towards a tiny vial on the ground next to Hope. It was a glass vial with a bright orange liquid in it. "Be careful," Mike cautioned us. "We never know what the trolls might be planning for us." "No," I frowned. "It says it's a troll potion. One sip and you will become a troll." I don't know about this, Delia," Hope cringed. "I don't want to look like them. No offense to humans, of course." "But we have no other choice. How will we sneak in without a disguise?" Nick said, and he grabbed the vial from my hand and took a small sip. "Did anything happen yet?" he asked quickly, and instantaneously he morphed into a tall human. Hope covered her mouth. "You're huge, and you look like a human." I agreed. His hair and face had lost his fairy glow, and his eyes had turned a darker shade of green. "Huh, I wonder what will happen to me," Mai said, and she was the next to drink from the vial. Surprisingly enough, she matched Nyx's eyes and skin, but her hair had turned dark brown. "Why did this happen?" She grabbed a strand of her hair. Hope tilted her head to the side. "I think it's because trolls don't have red hair." She took the potion next. Hope grew taller and her eyes turned a darker blue shade. A flicker of freckles covered her nose, and her hair, which was golden, had turned to a chestnut brown. Everyone was shocked. "You look so different." Hope cried out when she glanced at her hair. "Is this reversible? Please tell me this is reversible." We shrugged sadly, and our shoulders sagged. It was Flame's turn. His hair became a shade lighter than Hope's, and his eyes turned nearly black. Everyone turned to me, now towering over me. I drank the remaining part of the potion, and everyone gasped. "You didn't change, except your skin and height is like ours," Hope said. "Lucky you!" She danced around me. Nyx walked to us, carrying a tiny mirror shard. "Okay, wow, we look so weird as trolls." "Where did you get that from? That's mine! Stop touching it, you're getting it dirty!" Hope hissed, widening her eyes. "It was in your bag. I knew you would be carrying it," he said. We all laughed while Hope sighed. "Well, let's go now," I said, and we stepped out of the cave and into the dark troll world. There was no sun, just a dim brown color lit with torches of fire. It reminded me of the alleys in the human world at night. An old lady troll looked at us with a strange face. "What are you kids doing? It is not safe here." She came towards us and grabbed my hand, dragging me into a cave with the others, wearing a terrified face. "You kids look scared. What is the issue?" she asked, while pouring a blue liquid from a jug in her hand into 5 cups and giving them to us. "We heard from our parents that we trolls are bad," Flame mumbled, even though it was obvious he was scared. The old troll chuckled. "Ha ha! We are not wicked, but every other creature in this magical world thinks we are. The ones who are truly bad are the fairies. Pesky little fairies they are." "Fairies? Bad?" Hope blurted out. "Yes, I lost my whole family to them." She instantly wore a sad frown on her elderly face. "They got my kids and my grandkids." "They did?" I couldn't help wanting to learn more about it, taking a sip of the blue liquid, and it actually tasted delicious. The others suddenly looked shocked, and the old troll looked like somebody hit her. The others grabbed my hand quickly and rushed me out of the cave. We hid beneath a large table covered with cloth in the market. "What's happening?" I was panting. "You are turning back into a fairy," Hope whispered loudly. "I am?" I smiled gleefully. I was surprised about how happy I was. Hey, I have an idea. How about we do the invisibility spell? I suggested it after a long time of thinking. Sure, we can. We'll totally do the invisibility spell. Oh yeah, I just remember, we don't know how to do an invisibility spell, Flame scolded me. Geez, Flame, calm down. We need a plan. Like, what if the old troll is telling the others about us right now? They'll be searching the whole market and we'll be caught, Mai said, and we tensed up. Did you leave the vial in the cave, Delia? Hope asked me. Yes, but I have another idea. Since you're still trolls, you could buy an invisibility potion, after I came up with a plan. Then Delia, what's with you? You've been giving us crazy ideas the whole day. How in the world are we supposed to buy the potion if we don't have any idea of troll currency? Flame scolded me again. Listen to me completely. Mai could make a fake crystal, and then you could trade that for an invisibility potion. There is a chance that the trolls will get food. This might actually work. Nix nodded along with the others. Hope and Flame stayed with me, and the twins left in search of a potion shop. The twins came back with a vial, sweating and panting. What happened? Hope asked in anticipation. Did you get it? The twins grinned at each other, and Nix said, We saw this poster on a nearby tree. It said that the Troll King would give a huge prize to the person who steals the last fairyland crystal. Mai made a crystal that looked exactly the same as the one on the poster, and... Mai interrupted. The guy at the potion market got greedy looking at it, and we demanded he better give the invisibility potion, but he said he doesn't have that big level magic potion, but instead he had a memory loss potion. Which makes the person forget about what happened that day, Nix continued. But how is that going to be helpful? I mean, great effort, guys, but... Hope's face fell. Wait, guys, I got it! I squealed as I had thought of a new scheme once again. Got what? Everyone looked eager. We could give that potion to the old lady we saw earlier. But why would we do that? She's not important to us, Flame asked. We should do that because she is a big potion master herself. What? Hope raised her eyebrow. How do you know that? Flame inquired. Mai's eyes lit up at me and nodded as if she knew my plan already. She gives guests a potion that shows a person's true identity. Like when I drank the blue liquid, I transformed back into a fairy. If this is a normal thing for her to use daily, then she will surely have the invisibility potion. But I have one question. I thought you guys said the trolls didn't have any magic. Wow, I take my word back, Dandalia. Flame looked amazed. And yeah, they don't have magic, but they have potions, and the potion's effect only lasts for a day or two. Oh, okay. Well, after we somehow give her the potion, you guys have to be in front of her. If she sees you, she will probably take you back into the house, I said. Once you go in, I'll follow you and sneak into the house, and I'll look for the invisibility potion there. Let's do it! Hope tried to look excited, even though she looked pretty pale and anxious. We split up, and the others found the old lady in the same place we had before. I saw that she was drinking something out of a cup. Flame had poured the potion into the cup. Her face changed, and she looked confused. The rest went in front of her, and I heard, What are you kids doing? It is not safe here. I muffled a laugh. Does she always say the same thing? She took them into her house. I sneaked into it after them right before the door closed. It was easy because the door was unlocked and I was smaller and less visible than my friends. I hunted around the vials and I found a note that said, Mix the purple and blue vials and you will get the flying ability. Mix the golden and pink vials and you will be invisible. Mix the red and white vials and you will get the ability to breathe underwater. These are as dangerous as they are powerful. They always have to be consumed immediately after mixing. I grabbed a golden and pink vial and scurried out of the house with 8 empty vials in my backpack. I made a whistling sound with my wings flapping together while hiding behind a bush. The others got the message and ended their conversation with the troll. Did you get it? Hope asked. Yes. It says you have to consume it the second you mix these 2 vials, I said, revealing the golden and pink vial I had kept in my skirt pocket that seemed to extend its size for the vials. That means only one person can drink this, Flame frowned, looking worried. But I have these too. I grabbed the 8 empty vials out of my backpack. I took the pink vial and poured a tiny drop into 4 other vials, with some remaining in its original container, and gave 1 each to everybody, and then did the same with the golden vial. We mixed it at once and drank it quickly, and my heart skipped a beat. I felt like I was floating, but the sensation immediately disappeared once I saw my friends weren't there anymore. Hey, are you guys there? Yes. Yep. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yay, this worked! I cried, and we all cheered.